Hello everyone, we are here for the book launch of Building Bridges by Roy Kindelberger, and we have Roy with us today. And I look forward to an engaging event with Roy. He is a extremely jovial person, has been teaching since the last 29 years and is now working with Edmonds Elementary and teaches third grade students there. He's taught lots of grades from kindergarten, second grade, third grade, special students, and it will be an interesting conversation to hear more about him and speak to him. So let's begin with the conversation with getting some insight into his history.
Good evening, my time here at 7 o'clock here in Edmonds, Washington State. So a little bit about me, as mentioned, I'm a teacher and I'm also a writer, and I'm married to my wife Jackie, and have two awesome kids and three awesome stepkids, and I have a lot of friends and some things I like to do. Is spend time with friends and family, read, of course, and write. I like to do some Tai Chi and yoga to stay in shape and walking and like to be outdoors. It's something I kind of want to get into is maybe photography in the future. And he does lessons, so maybe I'll do that. That'll be my like next steps. Add some poetry along with photography.
What
Be
led you to writing this book, Roy? What's the inspiration behind? Is it your hobbies, or is it something parallelly that happened, or that ran in your life, which brought you to think about putting down all those haikus together?
When I first started teaching, I would write for the kindergartners. I'd write little books for them, and we'd photocopy them. They could color them and sound out words. Just simple books like "I see a cat" and "The cat sits on the mat," stuff like that.
Okay.
And it went from there to I just started joining these different critique groups and started writing for children, and that led up to my first publication, which was Broken Bridges. This is for children between third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade.
How
Soon
long
after
back did
that,
you
I
publish that book?
2013, and that's really when I
2013.
started getting into haiku as
Oh,
well and
wow.
tanka.
So
Right after I
that
published that
tells
book,
us that you've been writing since almost 11 years now, more than 11 years now.
well, my
That's
first
amazing.
publication was 2007 for children,
Wow.
and then
Wow.
I wrote for the education market.
Okay.
So like some of my short stories or whatever end up in textbooks, like a Houghton Mifflin textbook, for example. And there's other companies throughout the world, United States and through the world, that have those. And then right when I
So
was
what
writing for
was that
children,
educational books that you wrote about in 2007 for the
yeah,
education? What topic did you write on at that time?
most of them were just like reading passages. So they were like short, like really short stories.
Oh,
And the kids and students just read them for fluency and it answers some questions. So
mhm.
a lot of them are at first grade level or kindergarten level.
Okay. Interesting. So let's hear you recite one or two of the poems that interests you.
So the last 10 years, I've kind of put together this. I have poems from 2013 to 2023, and I've published some since, and I'll share one later tonight. But
What would you like to do first? Would you like
well,
to?
the first thing I think I'll do is I'll just read my first published haiku, and I'll read some poems and just kind of talk about them.
Mhm.
And so
We
this is the
have
first one.
one more guest join us, Pam Kindelberger.
Hi,
So
Mom.
Oh, hello. It's good to see you.
So one of my first poems was published in 2013. It's a haiku. The record player skips at the end. Morning doves coo. I like that one because it reminds me of, well, records, because, well, records are starting to make a comeback, but I like the idea of just listening to records. And at the end of the record, the needle kind of skips on the end and bump, bump, bump a little bit, unless
Oh,
you have it automatic. And then I just remembered outside my grandparents' window in the morning, you'd hear the morning doves in the pine trees before it got really hot in the
oh,
summertime. So I combined those two elements for that one. Another haiku. I like this one because the next two just kind of talk about the sky. Orange glow disappears on the blue sea. Secrets lost. The last orange washes into the stars. Nightlight.
it's more to do
I
with the
like this.
colors, isn't it? The merging of the colors that is happening here in the nature that seems to be is
It's
that's
sometimes very hard to capture in a haiku.
yes, it is. Especially in few words, how you put it across, it's a rarity. And
Yeah,
haiku, the good part about haiku is that it brings out the essence of the words much more than what you would do otherwise happen when you are writing a long prose poem which has so much more saying, but then the
yeah,
essence is lost. And that's what brevity does, I think, with the particular form of haiku which we read and write.
yes. This one is a tanka, which is when you think of a haiku, a lot of times you think of 575.
Yeah.
Well, in a tanka, it's more 575, but then 7 7. So you can add a little bit more to the moment. Where a haiku, I kind of think of as the moment, like a picture, a photograph. Tanka is more of a song. You can add a little bit in there. You might be able to slip in a metaphor or something in there. Something in a haiku that I'm told, no, don't do that.
Yes.
Though people do it. So this one actually is called Building Bridges. This poem. A return to an old manuscript feels like new. A walk on the bridge where I took the picture years ago. And I think that's kind of, it's halfway through the book. It's kind of neat. And there's the title. And the photograph I'm referring to is that one from the book. Because
Oh,
I,
so you're referring to
I took
the
that,
photograph of your previous book.
that's about 5 miles from my house.
Oh,
And it was,
okay. You've taken a
I
real
used to,
picture about a place. Okay. Interesting.
and then in one of the photos, I don't think this one, there's people in the distance. If you really look close, you can't really see it, but it's my daughter and her friends, like way in the distance. They look like little, I don't know, little, just like little toothpicks or whatever, way out there. You can barely tell. And I thought that was kind of neat. And then I really like this photograph too of the bridge. It reminds me of several different bridges. I don't
Mhm.
know if this is, but it kind of reminds me of the bridge between, I think, Portugal and Spain. And I believe also similar is, I think, Denmark to Sweden. That's another
Yeah.
one I
Yes.
noticed. So it's pretty neat. And it reminds me, yeah, kind of a bridge in the States between Oregon and Washington here, but it's not quite as long as these bridges. It's only about 2 miles.
So is your poetry book have some essence of your experiences as a teacher, maybe with teaching students? Does the poems that you write come out from there, or what you see, or what you um, listen to, the things that the children exchange with one another, or maybe just simply walking through the environment of the school? Has it got anything to do with that, or is it just something which you do in your muse when you're alone, or when you're writing, or when you don't have anybody around you?
It's a lot of times it's nature. or just things I observe a moment,
Hmm.
and then I'll put myself in that situation, I guess. My students, they inspire me with writing, but I'm trying to think. They inspire, I guess they inspire the nature side, and I guess just being open minded more than anything when I'm writing my poems. Um,
Okay.
but mostly they're just about moments throughout my life or just something I see in nature.
What
I'll read you.
is
Oh,
it
go ahead.
that what respite do you find in nature? Is it to get away, or is it just to admire nature? Or I'm just trying to make people understand you much more than what others, so that is it something which makes you feel peaceful? Or is it what do you ever head towards nature for? Is it some you must be, or you just don't think about that, you just dwell and walk through nature when you feel like it?
I think it's what you said about the peacefulness of it. You know, we're very busy. You
Yeah.
know, behind me, there's cars going back and forth. We have all this technology,
Mm.
and sometimes it feels like I need to disconnect from all that, right? And be able to go out in nature and kind of see the seasons.
Oh yes.
Like, like here, you can hear the birds in the morning, and soon you'll see some blooms across the trees here. But if you're out, but you can almost see the change when you're out in the mountains or the foothills or in the countryside. Here it's just so busy. I think, or for me, I forget to admire nature and just be in present in that moment.
That is an excellent point, I must say, because yeah, the momentous change that takes place gets lost somewhere when we are in the city life and the buzz of the city. We don't really even think about the present change that we are going through in the present. And we just simply get so engaged into the hustle bustle of our own lives that we don't even think about caring to think of anything else except ourselves in today's day, which is the need of the hour to be looked into. I think that is how, from what I understood, what you are trying to say,
Yeah.
I'm just simply putting across how I'm perceiving it.
Here's another. Oh, go
Yes,
ahead.
yes, please. Go
I was
ahead.
going to read a Tonka sequence, which is two Tonkas, and it's basically about what we just talked about, just that piece. And it's called A Moment with Myself. Sunset over a quiet river. Evening cricket song. I turn off the radio. Above the sea, orange fades into the horizon. Incoming tide, washing the day away.
Oh, lovely. That last line was very catchy. Washing the day away is yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah, above the
that notes
sea,
one thing.
orange fades. Yeah.
Yes.
I like the color orange. And they've been in a few of my published poems, which is kind of neat. And I love just the idea of the sunset and the sunrise.
Oh,
This other one is also about nature, but it's a Tonka prose, which means I write a short prose story uh, with
okay.
the Tonka below it. And I can just kind of show you you can see that there, peeking behind my book.
Yeah, I can see
The,
that.
the mountain. The mountain passed, snowed in during the winter, closed. During the summer, the windy road leads to a majestic blue lake. Snow still surrounds. Even though many travel, it feels like mine. Peace within. Serenity. Something about the mountains. Snow covered peaks. Cross the bridge toward an unknown destination.
Unknown destination. That's the word.
Another bridge story, another bridge one.
Oh yes. It makes one really think inward and look inward that I am also doing right now here when I'm thinking about your poem, which is what you must be seeing me do, and I hope that it is going across to those who are listening to us and seeing us. And with that, I think I'd like to maybe firstly share that the book, if everybody is interested, can find it on our website, that is poetchoice.in, and they can also find it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and Kobo, BookBub, and lots of other all book selling websites where your book is meant to be visible and available. On Goodreads, people can review the book. We are going to run a giveaway next month. No, this month from 25th onwards. So if anybody is wanting to get on participate in that, they can do that. And apart from that, just simply contact us if you have any queries. And if you're not able to find the book anywhere, we can, of course, on our social media, you'll see the books made available, like Instagram. And we also have the books listed in our WhatsApp catalog today. So you can simply scan the QR code in our WhatsApp catalog to get the book, or there is a link, Stripe link, where people can purchase the book from. And if there is anybody who wants to ask any questions about the book or its making, the author is right here with us and he'll be very happy to answer them. I hope there are some questions come our way. In the meantime, maybe if we want to talk about the book, let's put it this way. What took 10 years to write this book? It's a long time. So,
Well, I had these are like previously published poems,
okay.
and a friend of mine he mentioned he writes haiku and tanka as well. He said, "Well, why don't you put those published poems in a book?" I said, "Yeah, that's a good idea."
Oh,
And so you just
okay.
put them together in a book, and then you can go out, to book readings and go out to bookstores and just different things, and you have your stuff right here.
Oh, yes, talking about that, you can really do a lot of creative things with your book, which people don't realize that, and they just simply get stuck on with that, okay, this book should sell and this book should be read. But it's like your baby. You can really do lots and lots of things, go around, talk about, conduct events, socialize. It becomes a reason or an excuse for having people over and enjoying yourself. Basically, that's the point which I wanted to put across to everybody, which people tend to forget once they publish their book.
And sometimes, like at a book event with other authors, sometimes we trade the books. We say, "Hey, here's mine." We trade, and then we can read each other's, and tell other people about our books. And it's
Yes.
kind of uplifting, especially in haiku and tanka. They're not always bestsellers, but they're very nice poems, and so it's nice to be able to share that.
Yes.
I could read a couple more poems on our way out.
I think we've heard. Let people read the poems and then say what they feel
Save
about.
it for the book.
Yes, save it for the book. What was the reaction of your students when they came to know about the publication of your new book?
Um, I don't think they really quite understand it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
I
quite
mean,
young actually. I think that third grade. So yeah, they would not.
I I mean they know that I write and everything, and I kind of talk about my poems, and we write poems in the class, but we just kind of do that together. We don't, and I mean, they ask me questions and stuff, but of how to write.
I'm so sorry. Yes. Yeah.
But they did congratulate me and everything. That was very kind of them.
Yeah.
And they were actually very good writers themselves. So we just kind of inspire each other.
Wow.
I think sometimes they think, when you're published, you're Taylor Swift or some other big name person, J.K. Rowley, or
Yes, that's the thing
you know
about
what I
kids,
mean?
they
When they
can
say
really
me, well,
uplift you. Yes,
you're
yes.
not famous,
They make you
but
famous.
you're not in front of 15, you're not in front of what, 50,000 people at a stadium, right?
Yeah.
But so they have that disconnect of, you either have famous and us. But there's all
Yes.
this, lots of people are authors. They're authors
Yes.
and they can get themselves published. They actually asked me that. Can we get published? I go, you could. Yeah.
Yes, that confidence does not come across to people so soon. They take a lifetime sometimes to come to that
Yeah.
phase or plateau where they can say, okay, we'll go ahead and publish our work. So it's in itself a big achievement. That process is a continuous one that can keep on going on and on and on. But you got to that point where you said, okay, we are going ahead with this and publishing it, which itself is it's a milestone and it's an achievement because people don't end up deciding this. And as you said that your students look at you as a published writer and they uplift you look making you feel like a published author, which
Yeah.
most authors out there, I must share with you, don't get the privilege of being made to feel that way. Because of your students you get that real experience of, wow, we have a teacher who is a published writer. So that is something which you are getting it. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, the students, they really enjoy their writing and everything. And I think what you're saying, the hardest part is sending your stuff out,
Yes.
because you're putting your stuff out there and it could be a maybe, an acceptance, or rejection, right? And a
Yeah.
lot of times it's rejection, right?
Yes.
So that's the hardest part. And a lot of people have written stuff, but they haven't um, submitted it.
Yes. That's also one of the roadblocks that happen. We have Haley Kindelberger here. Welcome to the event.
Hi, Haley. That's my daughter, Haley,
Oh, wow.
taking a break from studying.
Okay. Wow.
I have Emily, who's my oldest daughter, and then I have three step kids. I have Rachel, Reagan, and Bradley. They live in Indianapolis, Indiana,
Oh, okay.
which is halfway across the country.
Okay. Okay.
And Haley, my two daughters here, Haley and Emily, go to the University of Washington.
And we'll hope to hear reviews and what people thought about the book launch when we put this out there. So whomsoever has not been able to be make themselves present here, rest assured that you'll have the recorded video with you, which you can share and watch.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Is there a closing note that you would like to make for all your viewers and readers?
I just want to thank everyone for their wonderful support. And yes, thank you so much.
We'd also like to thank everybody who is attending this book launch and everybody who made the book possible by being
Mm.
a part of it, from our team to our partners and everybody else who has contributed in the book. And of course, our readers who will read the book for sure after listening to this video and the few poems that the author has recited over here. And thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for all coming. And Really appreciate it.
Namaste.
All right. Bye.